All right, y'all. So the results are in for this week's Pick a Card for the week of Sunday, July 21st through Saturday, July 27th. Again, you were to select card group 1, card group 2, or card group 3. Now, those of you who commented your card selections in the comment section below on or before Monday, July 22nd, then you have automatically been entered to win this month's giveaway. Every week, I give you a chance to comment your card selections. You have about a day or so to do that. And then you are automatically entered to win the giveaway for the month, which will be announced at the end of July. So if you are watching this before Monday, July 22nd, and you haven't done so yet, please be so kind and share your card selections. You can do so either on my Instagram page at the Tonya Poole, my Facebook page, Tonya Poole Enterprises, or if you're watching this on YouTube, you can do this in the comment section below. Also, you can click the link in my description box to get more information about what I do. You can book a personal reading, and you can also purchase my book, The Magic of Self-Love, which is available now on Amazon. Now, you can go ahead and actually skip ahead if you've selected card group 2 or 3. The timestamp is in the description below to let you know if you want to skip ahead to the cards that you selected. You can go ahead and do so now. But those of you who selected card group number 1, you are up next. All right, so here are the results for those of you who selected card group number 1. I will just briefly go over some of the announcements just in case you skipped ahead. Make sure if you're watching this before July 22nd and you want to be in the running for the July giveaway that you comment your card selection below. Also, you can click the link in my bio or click the link in the description box to book a personal reading or purchase my book, The Magic of Self-Love, at this time. All right, so if you selected card group number 1, the stone that you have here is a peach selenite. I really love this stone. It's so beautiful. It's really good for emotional healing. It's good for transmuting like emotional turmoil or just painful emotions like embarrassment, shame, rejection, or emotional trauma into emotional healing. So peach selenite, which most people are familiar with the regular selenite, but this is a very pretty, version of the selenite stone. So anyway, if this is your first time watching, the card on the bottom indicates your general energy, the general wisdom that you need to know at this time. The card that is crossing it is what can either assist with that energy or can hinder that energy. And then we'll also go into your wisdom card, okay? And so you received the Ace of Swords and Judgment. The Ace of Swords and Judgment. All right, so for the week of July 21st through the 27th, the Ace of Swords is really, really guiding you at this time. The Ace of Swords is a card of enlightenment, meaning aha moments, meaning new awareness. Anytime you see a swords card, it typically deals with mental awareness. It typically deals with new insights, new information. Information is definitely a key word for any of the swords cards. Information or mental clarity. You may be coming through a time, especially since we're still going through Mercury retrograde, where there's not a lot of mental clarity. You're like, should I do this? Should I do that? Should I go here? Should I go there? Should I date this person? Should I not date this person? Whatever, right? And that's just how life is. Life presents us with a lot of opportunities, a lot of choices. And the choices are not always that clear, or actually either the choices aren't that clear or how we should choose is not that clear. So the Ace of Swords is actually giving you that clarity that you need. This week, look for signs of clarity. Look for signs of insight. It could be someone just saying something to you that it could just, to them, it might just be something they're saying in passing, but to you, it could really be insightful. It could really be something you needed to hear. So keep your ears open and your eyes open for information that you need, insight that you need, guidance that you need. Anytime it's the aces, this is usually some sort of aha moment, meaning is not necessarily that you're going to look for the clarity or look for the information that you need, but it could just come to you. It could just be you're just flipping through a book and you open to the page that you need that gives you the information that you need. Or you're walking through the store and you happen to run into somebody you haven't seen in a long time, or even somebody you don't know who just says something to you that's like an aha moment, like a flash of insight, like a boom, like a boom of just insight, of awareness. This is a card of awareness. This is very, very good, especially like I said before, with us dealing with this Mercury retrograde, or going through Mercury retrograde, which as an astrologer, I love Mercury retrograde because it gives us a time to slow down. It gives us a time to process information, because life sometimes seems so fast, right? Every day we're bombarded with decisions, ideas, possibilities, choices that need to be made, decisions that need to be made. And so Mercury retrograde actually forces us kind of to slow down and review the information that we have. Or, we may feel like we're stuck sometimes during a Mercury retrograde, but it's so that new awareness and new enlightenment can come in, so sometimes, we can be very egotistical in what we know, like we know something, we just feel it, we know that for sure, right? But the Ace of Swords is like, no, there are things that you don't know. That are coming in. This hand is like the hand of God, if you will, or the hand of the universe, or the hand of, just divine intervention coming in with new insight, new awareness that you don't know. What is the saying? You don't know. Some things you know, some things you don't know, and then you don't know what you don't know, right? Sometimes, there's so much that we don't know, and then there's so much that we don't even know that we don't know, So there might be things that you know that you don't know, but there's plenty of things that you don't even know that you don't know, that you are just so green to, so unaware of. And so this Ace of Swords is bringing you clarity, bringing you insight that can only come through serendipitous moments, through divine intervention, through a clarity that you're not even, or through a person that you may not even expect it from. It could come from an elder, it could come from a child. It could come through, like I said, you just opening a book and seeing the information there. And so because you don't know what you don't know what to look for. So it has to come through divine means. It has to come through means that you didn't actually seek out. So be open to new insight. Be open to new insight and awareness. You also have the Judgment card. And the Judgment card is whenever I see this card, it really lets me know that there are things that are hidden that are coming to life. A lot of times this deals with hidden, I want to say resources, but more so like hidden talents, hidden gifts. If you look at these people, they're down in their graves, and they hear the trumpet from the angel, and it's bringing them out of their graves. It's bringing them out of their coffins and bringing them back to life. And so there might be things that are dead and dormant within you that through this divine awareness, through this divine intervention, through this insight, awareness, aha moment that just seems to come out of nowhere, it brings new life to you. It causes you, in the areas of your life where you have been asleep, in the areas of your life where you have been dead or dormant, or playing it too safe, or playing it small and allowing parts of yourself to be so hidden out of fear or whatever, to come alive. Parts of you that maybe have been dead for a long time, to come to be renewed. And it's very interesting, even with this peach selenite, it brings emotional transformation and emotional renewal, because sometimes even when we've been traumatized emotionally, hurt emotionally, we go dead emotionally. Like we're still going through the motions of life. We're still doing, going to work, or, taking care of our children, going to class, whatever. But it's a part of us that's shut down, that is not receptive to life. And so there's kind of like a wake up call this week. some sort of spark of energy, some sort of spark of awareness of like, why am I living so small? Why am I playing it so safe? Why did I allow myself to be dead emotionally? Why did I cut off this particular part of me? Why did I stop tapping into my gifts and my talents? Like, why? It's time for new life. This new awareness brings a revitalization into your life. This new awareness brings new stimulation of life. All right, so be on the lookout for that. And again, it may not be something huge. This aha moment might not be something, so huge, but it could kind of be like a, you ever do that? Like, you hear something and it just makes you go, and that new information changes your perspective. It changes your behavior. It changes, even your outlook. It changes your beliefs on what you believe is possible. All right. So be on the lookout for that this week. And your wisdom of the oracle card is time to go. So let's see what that says. Time to go. I can almost kind of guess. Time to go, endings, completion, walking away from something because there is nothing else to learn or experience. You are at the end of one journey and have not yet begun the next. This is the moment to bless your experience thus far. Take stock of what you've learned. It's time to move on to the new experiences and a new way of being. There is nothing left for you to do, be, or experience in your present circumstances. Take the risk and move on, even if you need to be in a transition for a time. Your destiny is calling you. That is so powerful with the other cards that you receive, because a lot of times we end up stuck, stagnant, in dead places, in our coffins, right? In dead places, because it's all that we know. And we think that we know everything that there is to know. And this new awareness, this Ace of Swords, is like, you don't know what you don't know. You don't know what you don't know. There's things that you don't know that could bless your life in miraculous ways. And a lot of times we get afraid of that. We get afraid because it feels unsafe. It feels risky. This time to go talks about leaving where you are. That could be physically, or that could just be emotionally, or just a state of mind. However, again, this is just a general reading for everyone who selected card group number 1. But, time to go is like, it's time to leave that stagnant place of being, or at least that place where you think you already know everything. You've been there, you've experienced it all. And sometimes life feels like that. Like there's no longer a spark. There's no longer, we're just kind of going through the humdrum of life. And your reading this week is saying, hey, well, look, there are things that you don't know. And when you allow yourself to be open to those little aha moments, and what I'm really, really feeling is that, because when we're looking for changes in our lives, we're thinking that it's going to come through some huge, huge aha moment. But what I'm truly feeling for many of you is that your aha moments will be very, very slight, very, very subtle. So you have to be sensitive this week to the things that you hear, things that people say, something that's on a commercial on the radio, or, a TV show, just something very small. It could be one sentence that somebody says, or one sign that you see that changes your perspective, changes your views, changes your beliefs, so that you can come out of the dead places within you. So that it's time to go. It's time to leave your comfort place and trust that the things that you don't know, the Most High, the universe, however you connect to what is your higher self, will guide you on this next journey, because life is really supposed to be enjoyable, pleasurable, fun. It's supposed to be a continuous learning experience. And if you're stagnant and you're no longer learning and you're just kind of going through the motions of life, then is your aha moment to change that is actually coming for you this week. All right. So that is it for those of you who selected card group number 1. Thank you so much to those of you who have participated by commenting your card selections below and allowing me to bring these words of wisdom to you this week. All right. Peace and love. All right, so those of you who selected card group number 2, these are the words of wisdom that you have for the week of July 21st through July 27th. If you have skipped ahead to this and you missed the announcements at the beginning, I want to remind you that if you're watching this before or on or before Monday, July 22nd, to comment your card selections below so that you can automatically be included in the July giveaway, which will be announced at the end of this month. Also, make sure you click the link in my bio or in the description box to book a personal reading or to get my book, The Magic of Self-Love. The stone that you received is one called Crystal Praise, I think is how you pronounce it. Y'all can tell me below, how to actually say it, but it's a heart chakra stone. It really deals with helping you to walk in forgiveness, helping to heal the heart chakra, heal the parts of you that maybe have been hurt, traumatized in any kind of way. And even if you haven't had major traumatic moments, but just to walk in greater love, just to walk in greater love and emotional balance. And it also deals with the truth, right? So it's all about the truth can heal. So anyway, so that is that stone there. And so the cards that you receive, for those of you who are watching for the first time, the card on the bottom is your general wisdom and your general state of being for this week. And then the card that crosses it can either assist with that or can let you know what can kind of hinder that. And then we'll also go into your wisdom card. All right, so you received the 3 of Cups and the 2 of Wands. Wow, okay. The 3 of Cups and the 2 of Wands. The 3 of Cups is a very celebratory card. I'm just going to put this right here. It can be a very celebratory card. It's a card of group achievements. It's a card of, even if you were the one who made the achievement, it's about those who are celebrating with you, who are celebrating that love energy, who are really have a genuine love for you, that they are all celebrating your accomplishments. They're celebrating, are just there for you. It kind of reminds me of like a girls' night out, or maybe because it's 3 women on this card, but women getting together, sipping their wine, talking about the week and talking about, yeah, girl, I did that this week, and your girlfriend's coming and they're like, yeah, girl, you did that this week. And again, if you're a man watching, it's okay. It could be, how you get together with your friends and you just shooting a breeze and you're just, having a good time. It's the feeling of being surrounded by people that you love and trust, and people who are willing to celebrate you. Now, I am feeling, though, a slight warning because sometimes when the 3 of Cups appears, it is the indication of when, like, what's the saying, like 2's company, 3's a crowd. It can indicate a time of being in a group, and on its negative energy, it can be like being in a group and not being certain that everybody in that group is actually there to celebrate you. Everybody there, not being certain that everybody is genuinely celebrating you, honoring you, or has your highest good at the forefront of their minds or their intention. So this week, some of you, again, this is a general reading. So, this, for everyone who selected card group number 2, this could go one of 2 ways. One could be, this is a week to really galvanize, be around those that you love, that you trust, celebrate those friendships, celebrate that sisterhood committee that you have, or that brotherhood committee that you have, and to really sincerely, to be around those who are sincere and those that you can trust. Some of you, however, this may be a week, especially with this being in Mercury retrograde, and Mercury brings a lot of misconceptions or miscommunication. So there could be miscommunication in your group. There could be miscommunication of intention in your group. So you may want to be conscious that Perhaps everybody that's in your group really ain't in your group. They're in your group physically, but heart-wise, heart chakra-wise, are they really, really for you? The whole, also with two's company and three's a crowd, sometimes this card comes up when there is some sneaky behavior. When someone is overstepping their bounds, perhaps in your relationship. You could be you're thinking you're in a monogamous, committed, solid relationship, and then you find out that there's a third party involved. You know what I mean? And so that's also something that you want to be mindful of. Again, this is a general reading, so I'm not saying for sure that that's everyone's case this week. But basically, what you want to be mindful of or be, aware of is that, is your circle genuine? Do they genuinely celebrate you? Is everybody who's toasting with you and holding up the wine glass with you and celebrating you, to your face, is that really who they are? That might be the case. That might be the case that you got a solid, genuine circle of friends, or that, no one is being treacherous, and that's great. So this week you want to celebrate that. You want to honor that. But for those of you who may find out that everybody that you thought was your friend really wasn't, or everyone that you thought was genuine, and honored your relationships, and then you find out it's a third party involved, you know what I mean? You want to be aware of that. You want to really, really this week, just look at your circle. If I had to boil it down, look at your circle of friends. And make sure that they're all genuine. Again, with us being in a Mercury retrograde, sometimes, you don't want to be too hasty and just make assumptions. Mercury retrograde encourages you to communicate and communicate clearly. Don't assume. Don't make any assumptions. If you get a third party vibe, I'm not saying make any assumptions about it. I'm saying that this might be the time to communicate about it. To talk about it. But really also with this being the Three of Cups, Cups is intuition. Now I want to say this very clearly. There is, in my opinion, there is a difference between feelings, like what most people call feelings, and intuition. And sometimes we refer to our intuitive sense as a feeling, right? Like a gut feeling, or, I had a feeling about such and such, right? But sometimes, it's very important that we are clear on the difference between feelings and intuition. Feelings come and go. I can be mad at you today and not be mad at you tomorrow, and we can still be cool. You know what I mean? I can feel like, washing the dishes right now, and then I can not feel like washing the dishes right now. Feelings are fleeting. They kind of come and go. Intuition, though, is an inner knowing that doesn't have a logical basis, meaning you don't see it in a book, you didn't have the hardcore facts, you don't have the evidence, but you just have an intuitive, it's a divine knowing. And if you've ever experienced an intuitive moment, which we all have, it's just not all of us acknowledge it, but if you've ever had an intuitive knowing, where a true gut feeling, where you know something, but you don't have the information to back up what you know, but and then later on the truth comes out. What did I say about this? This is a truth stone that deals with the heart chakra. The heart is healed through the truth. So, whenever you've had a truly intuitive knowing, and then later on, the truth comes out, what do you always say? I knew that, I knew it. I knew something wasn't right, or I knew, whatever, fill in the blank, right? That is totally different from just an emotional feeling in the moment. So with this being a Cups card, if this were a Swords card, I would be like, yeah, maybe you need to have a lot of long-winded conversations and go into details and get all the evidence and the facts and the data and whatever. This being a Cups card, though, this is like all about feeling, but even deeper, intuitive feeling. So look at your group, look at your circle. What do you intuitively feel about everybody that you have opened your heart to? Friends, lovers, family, whatever, whoever you're opening your heart to. How do you intuitively feel about your crew? About those that you are surrounding yourself with? About those that even maybe you have said, I trust my life with this person. Now you may walk away from that and say, wow, my circle is solid. And that's all good. That's all good. But then some of you may walk away from it and say, you know what? My entire, my circle is solid except for this one person just gives me a feeling. You know what I mean? Then go deeper. That's when you want to go into prayer. Don't make assumptions, because Mercury retrograde then can trip people up through assumptions. But what you want to do is then go into your prayer and meditation, not holding somebody guilty already, but just pray and ask for guidance, ask for clarity, ask for confirmation so that you can be sure. So what's crossing that is the Two of Wands. Now, the Two of Wands, I love the Two of Wands. Look at that man with the whole world in his hands, right? The whole world is before him. You got the whole world before him. Now, he's comfortable though, right? He ain't he ain't no broke looking dude. He ain't struggling. You know what I'm saying? He's comfortable. Life is good where he's got some sort of, I guess, where he's living, some sort of dwelling place overlooking the ocean and mountains, and he got roses carved into the stone. I mean, he's living pretty good. But he's looking out to the horizon with the world in his hand saying, yeah, I'm living pretty good. Everything is comfortable, right? But, there's so much more ahead of me. Do I stay in my comfort zone? This is very much a card of, do I stay in my comfort zone or do I move forward? And trust that, the world, if I've been blessed once in life to get to this luxurious place or to get to this comfortable place, do I trust that it can happen again if I step out on faith into the world? Right? And so the Two of Wands with this Three of Cups is, what I'm feeling is that, some of you may have plans, dreams, aspirations, things you want to do with your life, and you want to make sure your crew is solid with you as you move forward. Because some, your true crew, your true friends, those real family members who really got your back, they got you when you move forward. They're okay with that. They're actually going to celebrate you. They'll celebrate your small wins. They'll celebrate your big wins. They're happy for you. Those who are not true, those who are jealous, have secret envies, or, are just not on the up and up as you thought they were, they don't support, your movement. Now, again, people who genuinely love you, they will, ask you questions if you about to just step out, on faith on something. You know what I'm saying? It's not that they're not happy for you. They just want to make sure that you're making the best decisions for your life, but they'll still support you and love you. You know what I mean? So don't, again, Mercury retrograde, don't assume just because everybody doesn't jump on board with what you want to do, how you want to live your life, who you want to love, whatever, that it means that they don't love you. It just means that, maybe they have additional questions. I'm talking about the real true haters cannot celebrate you. That's what I mean. The real true haters are only love you when you're in your comfort zone. Only love you when you don't stretch out. Only love you where you are. But it's the moment you talk about growth, the moment you talk about expansion, the moment you talk about moving forward, they're not just the people who just have questions to make sure because they love you and they want to make sure you're doing the right thing. It's the people who can no longer celebrate you. You know what I mean? Who then you realize might have been jealous of you all along. But then you still have to make the choices that are best for you. You still have to, if you want to move forward, you still have to make the choices that are best for you. And the great thing about a Mercury retrograde is that things kind of stagnate just enough and slow down just enough so that you can assemble the right people around you, the right team, the right support system, the right family and friends, the right love group around you for this next phase. We are halfway through the year. So, everybody who started that year out with you, everybody who was celebrating with you on January 1st may not be the ones who are celebrating with you on December 31st at the end of this year. So this might be the week where you're kind of weeding those people out, where you're kind of aware of that. And again, this isn't a mental process. You're not sitting around with a checklist like, okay, let me check her off because she's stupid. Okay, I ain't like the way she looked at me. Let me check her name off. It's not like that. It's just an intuitive sense, an intuitive knowing, not just a feeling, an intuitive knowing. You know, you want to be around those who are genuine. Even if y'all are not exactly the same, y'all don't like the exact same things, and y'all don't do the exact same things, you want to be with people who genuinely love, honor, and support you, because as you advance forward, if you decide to advance forward, because the Two of Wands is choice. Anytime you see twos, it's always choice. You can choose to stay in your comfort zone and complacent. But if you choose to advance forward, you want the people around you who genuinely love, honor, support, and celebrate you with you on that journey. All right, so we are going to look at your wisdom card. Wow, yin. Gosh, yin is such a card and a concept. The yin energy is very much intuitive, which is pretty much what I was already saying. So yin, the feminine principle of receptivity, letting someone else make the first move, gathering information and taking in cues, the art of conscious allowing. This is a time of calculated receptivity as you gracefully await what is coming to you, ready to accept it when it appears. Yin does not involve frozen dreams or even resting, but rather consciously allowing things to flow to you, poised to receive the bounty that will be made available to you. It implies sensitivity as you alertly study the actions of others, wow, and contemplate how they will affect you and yours. Remember, you must make space for miracles to appear. Be the shaped, not the shaper, and you'll see how quickly your dreams manifest. That is serious, y'all. That is like so powerful with everything that's already been said. You've got this yin energy that's telling you, you know, to be receptive, to watch those who are around you and take in the clues and the cues of the energy that is surrounding you. And it's not just about, you know, just sitting there and letting things happen to you. It is very conscious awareness. That's intuition all day. Being consciously aware of what's happening around you and not just being passive or passively allowing, you know, just yourself to be knocked here and there based on the whims of others, but allowing the true miracles that you desire for your life, the true advancement, the true movement, you know, for your life to come to you. The world is already in his hands, really. You know, the world is already in your hands. It's just a matter of you stepping into it. It's just a matter of you allowing that to happen. But again, you got to make sure that the crew that's around you, even if they're not a part of that forward movement and that vision for your life, you want to make sure the people who are around you are supporting you, who really genuinely have your back, who are at least not working against you, who are for you. And that's what this yin energy is all about. You know, it's not about forcing people into submission. It's really about watching and watching people's movements. You know, and not from a suspicious place. Don't get all suspicious and ridiculous now. But just from a place of letting people really show you who you are. And then allowing them to gracefully leave your life or allowing them to stay, you know, based on who they are. All right. So that is your wisdom for this week, July 21st through the 27th. Thank you to everyone who selected card group number 2 and allowing me to give you a little bit of wisdom this week. All right. Peace and love. All right. Those of you who selected card group number 3, here is your reading. If you skipped ahead to this point and you missed the announcements that I gave at the beginning, I want to remind you that if you are watching this on or before Monday, July 22nd, that you should still comment your card selection below because you will automatically be put in the running to win the giveaway for the month of July, which will be announced at the end of this month. Also, I want to encourage you to click the link in my bio or in the description box below so that you can book a personal reading, your very own personal reading, and purchase my book, The Magic of Self-Love, which is available now on Amazon. But all of that is connected below. All right, so if you selected card group number 3, here is your reading. And if this is your first time watching, the card at the bottom indicates your general energy, general awareness, what you need to know. The card that's crossing it is giving you additional insight. It can either assist with that or tell you what to look out for that could be hurting the first card. And then we'll get into your wisdom card shortly after. All right. Oh, before I say that, okay, so you have tiger's eye. Tiger's eye works really, really well with the sacral chakra, basically adding power. The solar plexus also. Sacral and solar plexus, basically. That both sensual, sexual energy, but also your willpower, exerting your willpower into the world. It's also a stone of protection as well. So if you want more information on that, you can always Google tiger's eye. All right. So you received the King of Pentacles and the Four of Cups. The King of Pentacles and the Four of Cups. All right. So the King of Pentacles is a card of enjoying one's achievements. The pentacles, anytime we see the pentacles, a lot of times, they are attributed to money, but not just limited to money. A lot of financial resources, but material resources. Anything in the material world, the material plane. Your home, your car, if you own land, the fruits that you grow on your land. Look at him, all these grapes and everything. He's prosperous, he's abundant, and he's enjoying his prosperity. You don't get to the position of the King of Pentacles without not only a lot of hard work, but a lot of strategic responsibility. It's one thing to plant your seeds in the ground, but it's another thing to actually see them come up into harvest and to then be able to manage them. And to a lot of people can grow their seeds, a lot of people can make their money, but it doesn't mean that they can manage their money. It doesn't mean that they have the foresight to govern their resources. So you're being asked this week, July 21st through the 27th, how are you governing your resources, particularly your financial resources? How are you governing your resources, your money? What is your money looking like? How are you governing your money? How are you guiding your money? And an even deeper question is, are you mature enough, or are you elevating and mature enough to handle the resources that you say that you want, or the resources that you have? Because the King of Pentacles, he's not like, if you know tarot, it's not like the Seven of Pentacles who's just waiting for his harvest to come in. He's just waiting, on his seeds to come up. They have come up and he is managing. He is living in the harvest. He's living in the abundance. And this is a place that a lot of people want to be in, but they don't understand that in order to get there, there's responsibility. There's responsibility attached to the King of Pentacles. It's not, to be a king or queen, however, again, tarot is just, you don't necessarily have to be masculine or feminine for this particular energy. It's just saying that in order to be in a ruling position, a lot of people want to be in a ruling position, but they don't want to rule. So how are you managing your resources? How are you managing not only the fruits of your labor, but also your time and energy that it takes to get there? Now, usually when I see the King of Pentacles, I'm all celebratory. I'm all like, yeah, King of Pentacles, money is coming. Get ready, richness, abundance, prosperity. And yes, I'm still going to say all of that. Richness, abundance, and prosperity. Wealth be unto you and your household, right? But I'm really strongly feeling this week, especially with this being in Mercury retrograde, which is a time of slowing down, which is a time of calculation, which is a time of, reflection and not assuming or not making bad investments. If you're going to be rich, or if that's your aspiration, then what are you doing this week to align to the energy of the King of Pentacles? That's the question. It's so interesting that you received this stone, the tiger's eye. Tiger's eye, yes, being a stone, a lot of times is worn for to bring in abundance, wealth, and prosperity. A lot of times it's worked in conjunction with citrine, the stone citrine. But with it being connected to the solar plexus, the chakra, the energy center that deals with your willpower, exerting your will, it deals with the work that you do to push your will and your effort out into the world so that you can receive back to you. The king, anytime I see any of the kings, but in this case, obviously the King of Pentacles, is really dealing with, you don't get to that position by being super, super passive, right? You don't get to that position by being weak. But a lot of times we think that getting to the position of the King of Pentacles and enjoying that wealth and abundance and prosperity is all about just that force of energy, pushing your, just pushing your will out into the world. But once you push your will out into the world, then what do you do with that? Like right now, for example, we're seeing, a lot of so-called leadership in the world, people who, push and beg for people to vote for them so that they can be the leaders. But then once we put you in that leadership position, how do you rule? How do you lead? Are you responsible with your leadership? And so the same way with the King of Pentacles, almost everybody wants financial abundance. Almost everybody wants material comforts in this world. And there's nothing wrong with that, because we are, what did Madonna say? I'm a material girl living in a material world, right? We are physical human beings. So we have physical needs. We want good food. We want a nice place to live. We want comfort. We want safety, so the King of Pentacles has to be concerned about all of those things, not just, the money, getting the money. It's not all about just getting the money, but it's also about having proper leadership over those resources once you pull them in, and also actually putting yourself, in a good leadership position in order to bring them in. And it doesn't mean, I'm not saying that, this is a general reading. So I'm not saying that you necessarily have to be a leader on your job or a team leader. You have to aspire to be a CEO. There are a lot of people, especially nowadays with the internet, who are multi-millionaires with a team of one or two people, or it's just them working from home. I know of a woman who, became very, very wealthy. And I think she had like 5 or 6 children, all under the age of 12. She was a stay-at-home mom because, with daycare, she couldn't even afford to put them in the cost of daycare. She couldn't afford that. And so she basically just worked from home. She was a team of one on the internet. And, but she was responsible with her time. She was responsible with her resources, and that put her, in this elevated position. And so you have to, this week, with us being in a Mercury retrograde, I'm encouraging you to look at what you are doing or how you are positioning yourself to be the King of Pentacles in your world, however you define that. How are you establishing yourself? How are you being a leader? The King of Pentacles, you can't really be passive. You can't be, you can't just let money just fall out of your wallet without even knowing where your resources are going. You can't just expect money to just flow to you without you being responsible with the money that you have. I'm not telling you to overthink it or stress about it, but I am telling you, every time, it's like if you want to catch a ball, if somebody's throwing a ball to you, a baseball, whatever, you position yourself to catch that ball. You're kind of lining up with the ball. You're putting your hands up in the air where you think the ball will fall right into your hands. And so really this week is about positioning yourself. If this is where you're going, if this is what you're desiring, then it's about positioning yourself to allow that kind of abundance to flow into your life. Also, the King of Pentacles sometimes shows up in a reading when the way you're aligning yourself is that you're just about to marry somebody who has money, right? So, or you are dating a person, male or female or whatever, who just already is in this position, and they are providing for you in that kind of way. And so how are you positioning yourself for that? How are you aligning yourself for that type of relationship? Are you only concerned about getting the money? It's been my experience that when I see people who are only concerned about getting the money, they don't always keep the money. Whether it is because they're dating somebody who has money or because they're trying to, start a business or work their way up the corporate ladder to get the money. If you're only concerned about getting the money, then you'll eventually lose the money. The King of Pentacles is very much concerned. He's looking off into the distance. In my mind, he's looking off at, he's surveying his kingdom. He's got his foot on the alligator that could, destroy his abundance, or to cut off the people that he's concerned about. So he's not just about getting the money for himself, but he's about sustaining those who he's responsible for, because he understands that in order to truly be fruitful, you have to make sure that your seeds constantly grow, constantly replenish. You can't just be concerned only about getting the money. You have to also be concerned about everything that is tied to that type of endeavor, which is very interesting because I look here at this Four of Cups. And the Four of Cups is about emotional unfulfillment. Look at this person, all sad, arms crossed. They have a divine hand coming out of the cosmos to hand them a cup of emotional fulfillment, and they won't even take it. This is a point of, emotional unfulfillment. Sometimes what we're doing to establish ourselves, because the King of Pentacles isn't always just about money. It's about establishing yourself in a prosperous state of being. So sometimes what we are doing to get here is emotionally unfulfilling. So then how beneficial is this if you feel like this? It really isn't. And we've all seen or heard or read stories about people who were filthy rich or seem to have it all, and yet were emotionally unfulfilled and will be willing to give it all away to just be happy. What is that scripture? Don't lose your soul for the whole world. You know what I mean? Don't gain all of this, but lose your emotional fulfillment. Wow. That's really key. That is really key this week, especially with Mercury retrograde. Don't get upset with Mercury retrograde because things might be stagnant, not moving as fast as you want. You want to really be thankful for Mercury retrograde right now, because it's really showing you, it's giving you a chance to look at the areas of your life where you feel like this, and you think that you can feel it with this. Some things in life cannot be solved financially. I'm sorry, just can't. I mean, a lot of things can be solved with money. A lot of things can be solved with money. But there are some parts of our emotional well-being. There are some parts of our emotional selves that money can't fill. Money can't fill that void. So in your getting of this wealth, of this financial abundance and prosperity, yes, go for it. Go for it. But go for it in a way that brings you joy and pleasure and happiness. Why would you go for it and still end up like this? This week, July 21st through the 27th, you are really encouraged to look at all the areas of your life that look like this right now. Even if your bank account looks like this. Even if you're feeling good on the financial end, or you at least feel like, yeah, I'm getting it, I'm about to get it, what I'm saying? You might be feeling good right here, but, what is your relationship like with your children or your spouse or with yourself? Or are you getting this money by doing something you don't even enjoy? And then you stuck having to continue to do something you don't like because it provides all of this money, and you establish your family, your house, your rent, your mortgage, everything based off of something that doesn't bring you pleasure. Then, because on this card, you see this divine hand coming out of the cosmos, offering offering emotional fulfillment. Instead of being like this person and just being like, I ain't even gonna look, I don't even care, no, you can't make me happy. Don't be that little pouty little kid, you know what I'm saying, that is so stubborn, that thinks that it has to come the way I want it to come. No, this week you may be offered opportunities of emotional fulfillment, emotional elevation, and it could come as something so simple. Like you're thinking, somebody could say, hey, let's just go to one of those paint and sip classes. And you're like, no, I ain't even gonna do that because I gotta focus on how I'm gonna get this money. I ain't got time for fulfillment. Or somebody may say, hey, let's go out on a date. And you're like, nope. If you don't look like this, then I ain't going out with you. You know what I'm saying? Look at the ways in which the universe, the Most High, God, your ancestors, whatever, is offering you moments of pleasure, moments of emotional fulfillment that you instinctively want to turn away from. And then ask yourself, why am I doing that? Because it could be that very thing that actually helps break that cold part of you that's emotionally cut off. Because really, and this is what a lot of people miss when we talk about the sacral and the solar plexus chakras. You know, a lot of times when people talk about the sacral chakra, they only talk about it from a sensual, sexual standpoint. But it's also the chakra of creativity. It is the chakra that feeds the solar plexus, that feeds your ability to go out into the world and exert your will. So it is the part of you that is creative, that enjoys life, that finds pleasure. And through that pleasure, you're able to create. And so your money, you know, there's a lot of ways to make money. There's a lot of ways to be financially secure. There's a lot of ways to walk in financial wealth and abundance and to secure yourself for many generations to come. And they all don't have to deplete you emotionally. Sometimes you have to connect yourself to those creative aspects of yourself, even those things that seem like there's no financial breakthrough attached to them. You know, you may say, what is a paint and sip class? Well, how's that going to help me, you know, make money? I'm trying to grind. I'm trying to hustle. Yeah, but take 2 hours to do something that is emotionally fulfilling. And you may find that how you're going about earning your finances and securing yourself is not the best way. This is available to you, no doubt. You're on your way. If you're not already there, you're on your way. If you haven't already met that wealthy spouse, you know, if that's your goal, either way, I don't care. You know what I mean? This is here for you. This financial abundance, is here for you. You're on your way. However, you personally want that to come to you. But don't cut yourself off emotionally. Don't shut doors, doors of pleasure and joy, and also for some of you, I'm feeling, you may even try to cut yourself off from, like if you've had a rough upbringing, a rough childhood, and you're like, I ain't never gonna be like my mama and them. I'm a hustle hard. I'm gonna get it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna be like them. But what's at the forefront of your mind all the time is how you ain't gonna be like your mama and them. How you not gonna let, that teacher or that counselor who said something to you a long time ago hold you back. I've seen that a lot too, where people are on their way to success, however they define success, or maybe are already there and they're still mad about something somebody said a long time ago, or they're still holding it against their family. Maybe you're the one in your family who's destined to be like this. It wasn't your mama's job or your daddy's job. Don't hold that against them. You're in this seat right now. All right. So let that, go for that. And don't be so angry about how you were unfulfilled as a child. This is a very childish behavior. Look at that. God got me cussing on this thing. Look at that childish behavior. Like that kid on the playground. I ain't going to play with you no more. Don't nobody care. You know what I'm saying? How you going to have this level of abundance, joy, prosperity, fruitfulness for generations to come, and inwardly you feel like this? You better handle that this week. Whoever, now I'm feeling this. And this might not be for everybody who picked card group number 3, but some of y'all need to come up out of this right here. Holding grudges, mad, somebody didn't emotionally fulfill you. It ain't their damn job. It's your job. It wasn't your mama's place. It wasn't your daddy's place. So what? They messed up. They failed you. They didn't, you know what I'm saying? And you feel like now you're going to get it because you're not going to be like them. You keep this up and you will be like them. You'll just be a rich version of them. Angry, bitter. You might be financially abundant, but emotionally in poverty. And then who cares if you're rich? Ain't nobody gonna want to be around you. And eventually your money won't even want to be around you. And the people that you thought, like you, for your children and your children's children, you thought you were building this wealth for, they'll take your money and not want to be around you because you're so old and bitter. I don't know who that's for, but I pray you heard it. I pray you heard it. I'm going to leave it right there because y'all segment is already at 21 minutes. And yeah, so anyway, let's go into your wisdom card. And you received Come to the Edge. Come to the edge. So let's see what that says. Come to the edge. And for y'all, I'm going to read the general message, but I'm also going to read the prosperity message. All right, so come to the edge. Courage, taking a leap of faith, overcoming fear, and accepting risk. Facing the unknown is the only choice you really have right now if you want to progress. It's okay to be afraid. Now's the time to take a risk that is not calculated, to feel the exhilaration as you ready yourself for a leap of faith. Spirit is present, so let go of fear. You are called to express your true self. Listen to your heart and soul, not your head. Come to the edge and discover that you can fly. You must step into the unfamiliar so that you may find your miracles. If ever there was a time for you to take a leap of faith into the unknown, it is now. This is the perfect moment to take a big risk. The unknown is the only choice now, and if you come to the edge, you will discover treasure beyond your wildest dreams. Allow your courage to lead you in spite of your fears. You don't need to know the exact form of what you're going for. The essence is much more powerful, and Spirit has a way of delivering an even better version of prosperity than you could imagine. Take that step. The results will be amazing. And then the protection message, because some of y'all need to hear this. Fear is leading the way into places you don't need to go. Most of what you fear at the moment is an illusion stemming from an old belief that isn't even true. Now is a time for courage. You will not be lost at sea. You will not watch everyone else get what you want while you are left alone and unloved. Oh, the drama of it all. Fear, false evidence appearing real, is hovering over you. The more you dwell on fear, the more real it will become. Ask yourself, who in me is afraid? Love that part of you. Ask, is this true and real right now? The answer most likely is no. Give yourself a hug. It's okay to be scared. Courage must be summoned. In spite of your fear, even when you're not feeling confident, Spirit will always catch you. Wow. All right. So some of you, particularly those of you who I was really speaking to in the end, if you're still dealing with fears from your childhood, if you're a big grown adult, but inwardly you're still feeling like this person right here, emotionally hurt and whatever else, even as you're succeeding in life, it's time to let go of those fears, because the more you fear, or the more you're running away from what you don't want to be, and you're always thinking about who you don't want to be and how you're not going to be like them, you might end up still like them. You might end up more successful with more money, but you still might end up like them. So release that fear. Allow yourself to hug yourself. Like I said, like come to the edge, say, hug yourself and trust and know it's okay. You're going into new territory, not just financially, but emotionally. Everybody who picked this card group, I would say, is going into a new territory, not just financially, but also emotionally. All right. And so some of that can cause fear, but it's okay, because Spirit got you. All right. So that is it for those of you who selected card group number 3. And I want to thank you for allowing me to share some words of wisdom in your life this week. All right. Peace and love. All right, thank you again for everyone who participated by commenting their card selections below. If you do so by July 22nd, then your name is automatically included in the giveaway for the end of the month of July. Make sure that if this reading has been beneficial to you in any kind of way, I gladly accept donations. I don't care, even if it's just $5. That exchange of energy is so beneficial. It's so beneficial, not just for me, but for you as well. And so you can click the link that's in the description box, and it will actually connect you to, there's another link there for my PayPal and Cash App if you want to do that. But also if you want to book a personal reading, make sure that you do that as well, or purchase my book, The Magic of Self-Love, which is available on Amazon. As always, it has been my pleasure to share some words of wisdom for you this week. And in the week ahead, I am wishing you all so much peace and love. Talk soon.